So, you've probably heard a lot about the European Union's ambitious plans for its digital future. But what are they really trying to do? Are they just creating more rules, or are they trying to build a whole new kind of internet? Let's get into it.
I mean, just think about your own life for a second. How you work, how you shop, how you talk to your friends. It's all going digital, right? This is a massive shift in how our society works. So the big question is, as this new world gets built all around us, who's actually in charge of writing the rules? And look, this isn't some sci-fi movie that's going to happen 20 years from now. The digital revolution is here. It's happening right now. As the source material points out, a lot of recent global events have just hit the fast forward button on this whole process. It went from being a slow creep to a full-on sprint. In a lot of ways, the future is already here.
Okay, so if the revolution is already underway, we've got to understand the new rules of the game, and that's really the core challenge that the European Union is trying to tackle right now.
Now, here's what's so critical to understand about the scale of this problem. The internet doesn't care about borders on a map. So when you're dealing with huge things like disinformation campaigns or major cyber attacks, one single country on its own is pretty much powerless. The threats are global, and that means you need a unified global level response.
And this is where the EU's vision gets really interesting. They don't want to just play defense, reacting to whatever new tech comes along. They want to be what they call a digital architect, to actually design a digital world from the ground up, built on core European values like privacy and security. It's proactive, not reactive.
So, what does this digital construction site actually look like? Let's take a look at the key areas, the real foundations of Europe's digital future.
Yeah, this isn't just one simple policy. It's a huge, interconnected project. The source material calls all these things the spine of the digitalization process. We're talking about everything from the ethics of AI to cybersecurity to making sure there's one single online market across Europe. And, of course, that super tricky issue of digital taxes, figuring out how to fairly tax these giant tech companies. Every single one of these is a critical piece of the puzzle.
And this slide just perfectly sums up the balancing act the EU has to pull off. On one hand, you've got what the source calls endless possibilities, amazing economic growth, incredible innovation, the whole shebang. But on the flip side, you've got a whole new world of threats that just didn't exist a decade ago. So the challenge is, how do you get all the good stuff while protecting yourself from the bad?
So, if you're a digital architect, what are your tools? Well, it's not bricks and mortar, obviously. It's laws and regulations. It's all about writing the fundamental rulebook for this brand new territory. The big idea pushing all of this forward is something called digital sovereignty. And really, it's a simple idea. Europe, not some tech company in another country, should get to decide how Europeans' data gets used or what's allowed on their online platforms. It's like a declaration of independence for the 21st century.
This quote from the source text just hits the nail on the head. For so long, there were these gray areas online with no real laws, and that allowed big tech companies to operate in what the authors call the shadows of society. The EU's entire goal here is to switch on the lights. And they have a pretty clear blueprint for how to do it. Step 1, figure out where those gray areas are, where the rules are missing. Step 2, create one single set of rules that applies to everybody across all member states. And step 3, and this is the most important part, make sure those laws are built to protect core European social values. But this isn't just about business and tech. This whole legal project is fundamentally changing what politics looks like and what it even means to be a citizen in the European Union. And the source points to some really mind-blowing new possibilities here. We're seeing the rise of things like e-governance, the idea of a digital European citizenship, and even serious talks about iVoting. The goal, as the text says, is to build political models that are based on efficiency and equality, maybe even using technology to make democracy itself work better. So, when you put all these pieces together, the tech, the laws, the politics, what's the final picture? What is this uniquely European digital future supposed to actually look like in the end?
And here it is. This is the ultimate takeaway. The EU's project here isn't just about controlling tech or stopping bad stuff from happening. It's something much, much deeper. It's about building a digital world that actually reflects the kind of society that Europe wants to be. It's about putting human values at the very center of our technology. And that leaves us with one last massive question to think about. The EU is building its digital house according to its own rules. But in our world, everything's connected. No digital space is an island. So the real question is, can this ambitious European plan actually go on to shape the rules for the rest of the world too? Now, that's a question that's going to define the next chapter of the internet for all of us.